Hello,
Hello, hello.
Ali.
Hi, hi. Okay, I've made the request to join on Instagram. Hi, everyone, on all platforms.
Yes, we
We're
are
streaming
live.
across many platforms right now, which is great. Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, all over the place, which is awesome.
Yeah, excellent.
Okay, so we're diving into a topic that I think is very hot at the moment, important, necessary, key to go over. And that's the topic of what's going on in the world. This crazy situation between, the obvious, which is right now we have Iran and Israel, between what's going on, Russia and Ukraine. There's wars going on across like 10 different places. There's all kinds of major issues. And on top of that, people are fighting between themselves and going crazy and getting upset. So the question is, what's going on? Why is mankind deteriorating? And should people be alarmed?
So people should definitely be alarmed
Hmm.
because the situation is really bad and it doesn't happen by mistake.
Yeah.
It happens. Technically, it's happened because the condition of man has deteriorated to the lowest point ever. As you know, we're doing a lot of IQ tests and personality tests, and we're working with a lot of people. And every time we're working with a person, and we're going to give them any kind of help, we're testing them first to check how they are.
Yeah.
And I can say that 99% of the people that we are testing are below the level of morons. Like really,
It's true. I know. I've seen the tests. It's shocking.
really.
It's sad.
And the
Yeah.
problem is the worse you are, the more you think you are right.
Yeah, you get locked on your
You are
ways,
so
let's say.
sure that you are right, and you will go confidently to hell. And never mind how many times you warn the person, you still can. You warn him, and you then wait, and you say, you wait for the boom. They always.
True. It's so true. It's sad but true.
It's really sad but true. So,
Yeah.
so the first problem is that most of the people are really in a bad condition, and it's not because they're bad; it's
Yeah.
because they've been pushed to that point.
Yes.
Destroyed education, drugs, destroyed the food, nutrition, destroying of the family unit, destruction of religion, destruction of the spirit, basically saying everything is physical, everything is material, etc., etc., etc. The side effect is a destroyed being.
100%.
You see being that right now will be very happy to go and destroy and will fight anything that makes sense because they are not smart.
Yeah. Yeah. And now, so that's what I was going to ask you.
It's not that because they are not Jewish, they are not smart. Yes. Or,
Yeah.
yes. It's not,
Yeah.
nothing to do with religion or color or gender or anything. It just got to do with the fact that the people has been destroyed, and they've been destroyed to a point that they don't know that they are destroyed. Because
Hmm.
there's one thing to be blind and know that you are blind, and there's another thing, totally another thing, to be blind and to be 100% sure that you can see.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And now, how does it show up on the tests? When you say we test people and we see that things aren't looking good, what does that mean? What tests are? What do you mean, and what do you see? What? How does it manifest?
So first of all, the IQ,
Yeah.
very, very, very low IQ,
Which means what?
which means that the person, when the IQ is very low,
Hmm.
the person will not be able to process the environment around him. He's totally a total effect. IQ is really a test that tell you how much you consider that you can be cause over the environment. A person can raise his IQ by deciding that he can be cause over the environment.
Okay, interesting. Yeah,
Really amazing.
yeah,
So the IQ is really, you see that people that have that are really powerful has a lot IQ, but they have a lot IQ because they're powerful. Not they don't have first high
yeah.
IQ and they become powerful. It's actually because you decide that you know, your IQ goes up.
Ah, wow, I see.
You'll see that people that have wins, people that succeed, have their IQ raised, and we check it. We're checking it in the seminars. We do a seminar at the beginning of the seminar and the end of the seminar. The IQ is majorly different. How much different? Depends on the person's certainty. How much certainty you got. The
Yeah,
more certain you are, the more IQ you will have. So number one is
yeah.
the IQ.
Yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, on that note, it's fascinating that in your 7-day seminars, the average IQ that raises, and there's this, some people think IQ can't be changed, but the average IQ that raises in your 7-day seminars is somewhere around 20 points, average. And no
Average.
one doesn't have an increase.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's
just
wild.
unbelievable. It's wild.
Yeah,
It's
in
wild.
7 days, it's wild. Yeah.
Yeah. So most of the people have the IQ that is very low. The second part is that the duplication is totally destroyed. People are don't
Duplication? What do you
yeah,
mean? Yeah.
the ability to see something and to see it and not a symbol of it. So when a person see a cockroach and think that's danger, he doesn't see the cockroach. He sees some other thing. He sees a symbol. He has a movie in his house, in his head,
Yeah.
of how the cockroach can eat him or be destructive to him or is disgusting or whatever. But it's all
Yeah.
false because the cockroach is nothing. It cannot hurt you really.
True. Yeah.
People are really running away, especially if you're a man. You're running
Yeah.
away.
Especially if you're me, exactly.
You're running
Yes.
away from cockroaches, which is really funny because it's like
Yeah.
really nothing. It's really nothing.
True.
It's
True.
nothing to you.
Yeah.
Which means that you don't see the cockroach, you see something else. Most of what people at the moment do, they don't see what's in front of them. What in front of them trigger a movie, and they unknowingly see the movie and react to the movie. So
Yes.
they're acting on a pattern response.
Yes.
Most of the people, most of the time, act on the pattern response. You tell them, I love you, they know they need to do A, B, C, D, E. You tell them, I'm upset, they immediately know A, B, C, D. That's what they do always,
Yeah.
irrelevant of the actual situation.
Yeah.
So that's
True.
the second part. And the third part is the personality. The personality is how you react to motion, how do you react to things that coming towards you.
Yeah.
And most of the people, most of the time, are in such a bad condition that they don't even know that there is motion coming to them.
I see. Interesting. Okay. And now what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, how does that look like?
It's like you have a person that has massive debit card debt. It's
Yeah.
a destructive motion coming to you. It's a bullet that's
Yeah.
coming to you. You are not aware that someone shot at you.
I see. I
And
see.
that someone is you, yes?
Yes. In this case, yeah, exactly. Okay. What would be another example?
Another example would be that you have a bad relationship and you don't understand that this bad relationship will end up in a massive situation.
Gotcha.
Yes, you think you
Yeah.
look at stability,
Yeah. I see.
but
Yeah.
you actually have a disaster brewing.
Yes. 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 I see. I
Yes.
see. Okay.
So
Yeah. So,
don't know really, they don't actually confront what's in front of them. This is on a bigger level, and on a smaller level they just don't handle what they need to handle. They don't answer the emails, they don't reply their WhatsApps, they
yeah.
don't actually do what they promised to do, they don't keep their word once given. They consider everything frightening. They consider everything difficult. They consider everything is happening because there is some external force to them that defining it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Total nonsense.
Yeah, true.
So,
That's very true.
so people are in a very bad condition. And because people are in very bad condition, those people are the people that leads you. The fact that someone is a president does not make him not a person. The moment
Hmm.
that he
Gets the
becomes,
title.
and yes,
Yeah.
you get the crown, it doesn't mean that they replace your brain. It's not the
Right.
hand where you have the commander that they're putting the flame
Yeah.
in.
That's
Yeah,
true. Yes, that's a good point. Unfortunately, we don't have the flame. Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
not by mistake, the flame could go only to a specific people because all the other people are too crazy to have the flame. They cannot experience that knowledge.
Right. For those listening, by the way, if you didn't catch it, it's a reference from a show that's called The 100. So if you haven't seen it, that's what we're referring to. That they have this thing that anytime that a new commander gets put in place, they get this new chip that gets installed and gives them more power and so forth. But yes,
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, you have homework.
yeah, it's a great show. Exactly. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So you have this condition where these new leaders are getting into power in a world where, in general, people are in a really bad condition, aside from the people in power, but of course, the citizens, the average person is deteriorating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have additional layer that there are forces that are exterior to what we know that actually controlling this place. Those forces are actually the forces that defining what will happen. And what you see that unfolding is just the gradient scale to, or the gradient steps to get the people to actually accept the change. Now we see those changes over many, many years. And we think, whoa, there cannot be no one planning for such a long time. Because you think about in a term of one lifetime, those forces are planning in terms of eternity. So in terms of eternity, one lifetime,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
experiments of 2 minutes.
True. It's a then and is
And it's like, let me try to turn the machine on. Let's see what's happening. Oh, let me turn it off. Really, that's the order of magnitude.
So is 100 years for them different to what how we perceive 100 years?
100%. Imagine that you are a being that immortal.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is 100 years comparison to 76 trillion years?
Yeah. It's true. Right.
You can
Right.
see it on the graph. It's not a beep.
Yeah, exactly. I see. Yeah, that's very, very true. Yeah, I can see that.
So this is the bigger picture that we are involved, that we are actually playing a bigger game that most of the people, or almost all the people, are not aware that we are playing that game. But within our game, what we can do is we need to improve our own condition, because the only reason someone exterior to us can control us is because we are willing. The spirit is so powerful that the only way to trap a spirit, the only way to destroy a spirit, is by getting the spirit to be willing to be trapped.
I see. Yes, I
And
see.
the spirit is very, very, very powerful, but powerful do not mean smart. Many
Gotcha.
people think that powerful means smart. No,
Yeah.
very, very powerful, but very dumb.
Aha.
And so the spirit makes bad decisions, and has made many bad decisions, and that's why we are here today in this planet, in this gel planet.
Yes.
And the moment that you realize that the problem is not your power, the problem is that you are uneducated as a spirit.
Yeah.
The moment that you realize that, you will understand that without education, you can be cheated, you can be tricked.
Gotcha.
Like you can take a child, and he is very nice and sweet and powerful. The being is extremely powerful, but uneducated. You can trick him to almost anything
Right.
because
Yeah.
he's not educated.
Yeah, I see.
So you've
Yeah.
got a very powerful being, uneducated, And not only, and because he's uneducated, he can be tricked into believing that you don't need to fully understand the sentence.
Yes.
Imagine that I will go to a sane person and tell him, you're going to sit in school, or I'm going to teach you something. I'm the teacher, I'm teaching you something, but you don't need to understand what I'm teaching you. You can just guess from the context.
Yeah.
So why am I sitting here? So why am I sitting here?
Yeah. Exactly.
But that's what for most people, it is education. Imagine that
Yeah.
you learn something and someone tell you, look, you don't need to understand, you need to remember it, but for a short time, just for the exam. And after that, you can forget.
That's exactly what's happening. I mean, I don't need to imagine. That's exactly how schools are built. It's wild. It's insane.
I'm speaking to people and I'm telling them, look, read this sentence. Now tell me what it means. It's wild.
Yeah. Adults, educated adults.
Adults, it's wild. They are so. I don't want to compliment them unduly and say stupid.
Stupid is a compliment.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really wild.
Single person think, no, it cannot be. It cannot be. I'm not so stupid. If you are not successful, you are. I know it's harsh.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're not successful, you're stupid in that area where you are. And if you don't improve, you're becoming stupider. And if you improve, you become less stupid. And so you'll become powerful. Now you need to decide, cry because someone called you stupid, or realize that stupidity is not a disease. It can be, it's not inherent.
Yeah. Yeah.
You,
There,
you can
yeah.
change it by knowledge.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah. Amazing. 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 Okay, that's amazing, because I think that for the average person listening, it is already like, whoa, okay. I mean, I might be one of these people that thinks I'm smarter than I am, but if I actually really look at my results, I'm having many difficulties. So maybe, and it's tough to say, maybe I'm stupid, at least in that area. It doesn't mean in general, but in that area, I know wrong. Now, how does that translate to? And maybe just by the way, before I continue, we have Biwi here on Instagram. By the way, when I look down here, I'm looking at the Instagram. Biwi hello from Munich, and we have Gary Vanderpool, hello from Toronto. And Gary
Hello.
asks, he asks a question. I'm going to get back to it in a second. We have Bernard on here on YouTube, and Luciana said hello, hi. So Gary is asking, are they miseducated, or they are indoctrinated into something, into a way of thinking?
So let's see what is miseducated and what is indoctrinated. Miseducated is to teach wrong.
Yes.
So you've learned something wrong. And
Yeah.
the problem of people is not that they don't know, they know wrong. They really learned something wrong. Indoctrinated is a person that really totally understood what I want them to tell them, but what I told them is something that they took as total truth, and they stop observing.
Yeah.
Indoctrinated is not as bad as miseducated, because indoctrinated, at least you fully duplicated what I say, and at one point you may or may not decide to do something about it. Okay. But miseducated is a process where you went to learn, you didn't really learn, but you didn't not learn. So you have some kind of a mess that you are in a total uncertainty. If you are certain about something, you can make it right.
Yeah, I see.
If you're indoctrinated, I have been indoctrinated that, I don't know, communism is the best thing in the universe. But if I actually understand it and totally duplicate, I will sooner or later will see the difference between communism and all the other things.
Yes. Yes.
If I never understood communism and never understood democracy and never understood capitalism and never understood anything, I will never get out of the mess.
Yeah.
Miseducated is the problem. The problem is not that you know something or you don't know something. The problem is that you know wrong. You have something that is incorrect that you think that it's correct. And what does it mean, something that incorrect? It's not complete. It's not cohesive. It's not something that complete.
Yes.
And because you know wrong, you will do extremely wrong.
Yeah, so it's not complete, and also you then don't get results, and you're in a confusion.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. I had an interview with one of these guys that says from the river to the sea. And I'm not getting right now into if it's good or bad or whatever. I just asked him which river to which sea.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
I spoke to a person and he told me, Israel is an apartheid state. I said, wonderful. Can you tell me what is apartheid?
Yeah. Couldn't, I bet.
Just tell me what is apartheid.
Yeah.
Just explain to me what is apartheid.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I explained to him what it means, which is basically apartheid means that you take parts of the society and take from them certain rights, which make them second-hand citizens. And I ask, okay, fine. So now we agree on that. Okay, good. So how many Arabs there are in Israel? Don't know. What do you mean you don't know? But you are against Israel, so you don't know how many Arabs? But you think that Israel is an apartheid state, yes? Okay, so how many Arabs? About 2 million Arabs. What percentage of Arabs are pharmacists in Israel? In Israel, there's about 10 million people. About 25% is Arabs. What percentage of the whole population are pharmacists? 49%. What percentage are lawyers? 27%. What percentage are doctors? 32%. What percentage of judges are Arabs? 18%. How is it apartheid?
Yeah.
If according to your size in society, you have more or less even more than the Jewish people.
Yeah. Yeah.
How is it? Now let's take all the other combined: Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, Iran, Saudi Arabia. Just 5 countries, Arab countries. How many judges are there?
That are Jewish.
That are Jewish, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many Jewish people can go to Iran and say, "Hey, I'm Jewish," or to Gaza? What will happen
0.
to them?
They'll die instant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they don't really understand what they're saying. They are
Yeah.
robots.
Yeah. 100%.
Total robots. So I'm not saying who is right in this conflict, but I just said that you need to understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And once you don't understand what you're saying, it's like me arguing with Siri. It happens to me. It's not so smart.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it. Okay, good. So that's amazing. So we have this situation that society is deteriorating. The people listening right now are going, shit, maybe I should be alarmed because maybe it's me also. I need to do something about my personal condition. So because we really started with, should I be alarmed? So we have on the one hand people's personal condition, and we have on the other hand the being a pawn in this crazy global problem that's happening again and again, wars and turmoil and just destruction all around, from the simplicity of the economy to wars, full-on wars. So my question is, what does one do in this? How does one navigate this? What does one do?
Knowledge. If you don't do good in life, if you are worried, if you are anxious, if you're having financial difficulties, if you're having bodies difficulties, if you're having any kind of difficulties, the first thing that you should know is that you know wrong. You know wrong. That's why you don't improve. Imagine that I'm a guitar player and I'm sure that I need to press the strings, but not fully press them. And I'm sure 100% it's like that. And so my guitar playing sounds terrible. And I try to get new guitars and get new fingers and get all kind of things, other than learning how to change that my hold of the chords.
Yes. Yes.
Nothing will happen. How do I fix it? I need to get knowledge.
Yeah.
I need to get knowledge. The first thing is to find what is the actual reason. That's why we're doing the testing.
Yes.
You do the testing, you find what is the actual reason, and now you say, okay, fine, I'm willing to listen and do, and then evaluate.
Yes.
Why? Because if I'll ask you what's wrong, you will always tell me that you need the wrong thing. So when you speak, you don't tell the doctor, this is what you're going to do for me. The doctor tells you what to do if he's a real doctor, yes?
Right.
If he actually did the test, the test and he found the real why, he doesn't do what you want. If he needs to cut your body while you are awake and there's no anesthesia, he will cut your body while you're awake, and it's regardless of how much you'll scream, he will do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The same thing. The first thing you do. You first do. I tell you what to do. You do, and then you look at the results. And based on the result, you decide if you improve, you continue or not.
Yeah, got it.
But I cannot ask you if what I teach you make sense or not. And of course, I'm getting you to understand, but I don't need you to agree. I need you to understand, because you will not agree. You will not agree.
You're right, exactly. Yeah, because it goes against what you know wrong. So your instinct will be to disagree with that, but you know wrong. Exactly. It's not bringing you results, and you don't know that you know wrong. So you're sure that you should fight it.
In the Bible, God tell the Israelites on the way to Israel, to Israel. Before there was Palestine. On the way to Israel. So on the way to Israel, he tells them, he give them the Bible, and he tells them, I give it to you with one condition. You will first do, and then you will listen. Na'aseh v'nishma. You first do, and then listen. Mm-hmm. So you do what I say, and then you start to look and listen and evaluate. Because you're in such that condition, you are so stupid that you're not in a condition to actually evaluate. Otherwise, you will be successful.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you want help, I'm not asking you how to help you.
Yeah.
Because you already proved that you are really bad at that. You're not helping yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's
so
straightforward
and true. Here, and maybe it's harsh, but I'm here to bring result. If you want result, do and then listen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay, so that's amazing on that front. And by the way, do you want to talk a little bit about the fact that you're doing a major seminar coming up in Toronto?
Yes. So one of the key issues that people have is the inability to communicate. Mm-hmm. If you ask the average person in the street, what does it mean to communicate? He will have a problem to actually define it. He will have some kind of a definition. He will give you an example. It's like, when I'm talking to you, I'm communicating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or he will tell you, when we are talking, it's communication, or all kind of things like that. But he will not have an actual communication. What is the definition of communication? And so he has a problem in communication. Now, the first thing you need to do in life in order to study is gain the ability to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
To study.
Because if I need to teach you, if I need to give you the Bible,
I see, of course.
And I cannot find you, because I cannot communicate with you, to give it to who?
Yes, yeah, with you. Yes, true.
So the first thing I need to do is I need to the ability to communicate. In order to communicate, I need to have very high liking towards you.
Hmm.
So if I cannot like you, I cannot communicate with you.
Yes.
If I can like you, I can communicate with you. And
Hmm.
most people, a liking, when I say liking, what I mean is the ability to see someone without fault.
Mm. Oh, wow. Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Liking is the
True.
ability to see someone without fault.
Yeah.
So if I'm your friend, a friend is a person that know that you are perfect, regardless of all the evidence that prove otherwise.
Hmm.
That's a friend.
Yeah. It's beautiful. Yes.
So in order to communicate to you, I need to actually gain this ability to like you, because otherwise I don't communicate with you. I
Hmm.
make you wrong. That's not communication. I find fault
Yes.
with you. I criticize you.
Yes. Yes.
And and that is really, really, really important. Now, this is a massive disease, the inability to communicate.
Hmm.
And you'll see that once you're able to communicate, you can have.
Hmm.
What can you have? What you can communicate with. Why
Yeah. True.
don't you have? Because you cannot communicate with it. I can go and say, okay, fine, I want to do a real estate deal, and my real estate deal is $1 billion, because I can communicate with $1 billion. The
Yes.
idea, the physical manifestation of it, blah, blah, blah. And a
Hmm.
normal person, or an abnormal person, I would say,
Yeah.
can't communicate with $2,000 per month.
Right.
He can communicate with that. He can
Hmm.
confront. He can communicate minus $50,000 in the bank.
Yes. True. Yeah.
So if you really understand that the first thing is you need to be able to communicate, and once you can communicate, you can decide what to communicate with, $1 billion or minus 50,000. If you communicate minus 50,000, is because you cannot communicate. In
Hmm.
order to communicate good, you need to have the ability to communicate. And when what you communicate with is not good, is because you are not communicating, it's been communicated to you.
Wow. Amazing. So there's almost like this 0 point where
Yeah.
while you're not able to communicate, you get communicated to with negative.
Yeah.
And the more you can communicate, you can start to have what you communicate with, and you can start to have more and more in life. And you can actually work on this ability to have, and you can see it because you can give one guy a Ferrari, and he can have the Ferrari, he can drive the Ferrari, he can like the Ferrari. You give another person a Ferrari, and they can't have it. They're scared to sit in it, let alone drive it. Like, I cannot drive. I can't have this. I'm going to scratch it. They get worried. They can't have it. So the more you can have, the literally you can physically have as well.
They not only cannot have the Ferrari, they will scratch it. If you give them a Ferrari, it will be destroyed.
Yeah,
You give them a
yeah.
nice house. You give them a nice house, and you see that in a week or a month or 2 months, it's destroyed. They win the lottery, and in 2 years, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
what happened below this go no ghost place of communication, at the top, you get what you want a lot of, and at the bottom, you also get a lot of what you don't want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
So the
Amazing.
bottom you get a lot of what you don't want, and at the top you get a lot of what you want. That's the
Wow.
difference. You always get.
Yeah,
At the bottom is if you don't know how to communicate, you get what you don't want. So you will
yeah.
have a lot of problems, pain, misery, anxiety, worry, blah blah blah, and you'll become druggy and whatever. You'll come up with stupid solutions,
Yes.
and that's at the bottom. And at the top, you get love, you get money, you get the ability to help other people. You contribute to your group. You produce. You bring results. You make miracles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
the difference. The ability to communicate. In Iran, Israel delivering a massive lesson to Iran. And why Israel is so successful there? Because the regime is a suppressive regime. So everyone is not in communication with the regime, with the leadership. So if you're not in a communication with the leadership don't have you. What do they have? They have bad things from you. So half of Iran is spying for Israel.
Yeah.
Half of Iran is spying for Israel.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Yeah. Interesting.
Of course, like how come Israel opened the first strike, killed the head of the army, and they replaced him, and they put another. They killed the second guys of the army, and they killed all the nuclear scientists, and they killed that. How come? How come the infiltration is so strong? Because the regime that is a suppressive regime is not actually in communication with the people. So the people will give to the regime a lot of what they don't want.
Yeah. So in other words, you're going to have. The question is, you're going to have the question is, are you going to have what you want or what you don't want? But have you will.
And you'll have a lot. You'll have a lot always. There's no. It's not that you have less. You have a lot always. Always. You endless havingness. Just one guy have what he doesn't want, and the other guy have what he wants. That's all.
Yeah.
And it's actually what you actually have is a balance between in the different areas of life, the difference between the good things that you have and the bad things that you have. There's a balance, and this is: are you a beggar, an average person, a millionaire, a billionaire, or me?
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Exactly. And so before I go on to the final question, because we're kind of getting to the end already, which time flew, the question that I had was, actually, before the question, Toronto. Okay, so just to wrap that up, we talked about you're going to have one way or the other, and you need to handle the communication. So the Toronto seminar is happening August 17th to 23rd in Toronto. People that are new have an amazing price. If people want to find out about it, speak to us. Was there anything you wanted to add to the Toronto seminar?
If you think that you are tired of having what you don't want, this is where you need to be. If you want to continue to have a lot of what you don't want, don't come.
Yeah.
It's very simple formula.
Yeah, exactly.
And your risk is nothing, because when you come to the seminar, there's always a guarantee. So your risk is very small. Well, not very small, nothing, no risk.
Yeah.
All you have to do is to sit in the seminar, the whole seminar, do the drills, and by the end of the seminar, if you're not happy, get your money back with a kiss.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so now
you don't want a kiss from me, so of course I'm not going to ask for a refund.
Yeah. Exactly. Somebody here said on Instagram, we have Ali said, good evening, hello. Biwi said, wow. So a user here said, wow, I saw you at the airport. That's great. I don't know if it was me or Mayor, but great. And then they said, free Palestine. Okay, great.
Okay, no problem. Free from who? I agree.
Free from who? Exactly, yeah. Free from who? Yeah.
What is Palestine?
Yeah, exactly. Great. Okay. Now, and then we have Amit who said hello, and Jason is here, and Bridget. Yeah. Hi, everyone. And Bernard. So my question is this, the final question. Are we heading towards World War III? The whole situation right now with Israel and Iran and America potentially getting involved, and globally, the general unrest, where are we going? What and is that also a cause for alarm?
Sorry? We're not going to World War III, not at all. We are already in it.
Okay, meaning, but when I say World War III being in it, I mean like all of a sudden you see Russia starting, and then I don't know, Germany starts to get involved, and everyone.
We are already in it.
Yeah,
and it's not only this world. We are in the war of the words, and the fact that most people are oblivion and cannot see it. That's an interesting, and it's designed like that, but it's already happening.
Okay, and how do we know that? How does that look like?
Oh, it looks like that people kill people. People just open Instagram and look at the comments of people, and you will know that we're in a war. So what does it mean, a group? A group is composed of individuals, yes?
Yeah.
So you want to know what's happening between the groups, look at the individuals within the group and see, do they have affinity to each other or do they fight? If they fight, the war has started. And the war has started long time ago. It started with the introduction of drugs, etc., that brought people to a position that the only way that they can argue or the only way that they can communicate is by criticism. And not even intelligent criticism.
Yeah.
So someone say free Palestine, I'm all for it. Because free from who?
Yeah.
Free from who? Not a problem, yes. Free Palestine, free from who? And what does it mean, free Palestine? Free, like, what does it look like?
Yeah.
What is the size of Palestine that you want to free? What is the size of Israel? Where is it on the globe? Show me just on the map, never mind anything else. Can you do that?
Right.
So if the guy is a robot, or not a robot is too intelligent, a parrot that just repeats one word, but he doesn't know anything else. Robot at least can be programmed. Parrot have a much less memory.
Yes, true. Good point. Yeah, exactly. Gary said free from Hamas. Yes, that's yes.
Chanting free Palestine. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Okay.
Yeah.
What can I say? But if you want to be intelligent and say, okay, fine, what is the problem? What is the source of the problem? How can we solve the problem? There is a problem of people in Gaza. There is a problem of people that living in the West Bank. There's a problem in the relationship between themselves and between them and the Israelis. And we need to solve that problem. That makes sense. Why? Because this is something I can do about it.
Yeah.
But Palestine, from who?
Yeah, it's too general and that's just a parroted thing.
From who? So they say, oh, from the Israelis. Okay, good. So what happened with Israel? What do you suggest? Should we do it like the Palestinians said, push them to the sea? Do you think it's okay? Or should we build a new cremation furnaces, like new Auschwitz? What do you suggest?
Yeah.
So what do you suggest? Like, let's talk about practicality, not just free Palestine. I mean, come on, you can be a little bit more intelligent than that.
Yeah, yes? Exactly. Yeah.
So once you communicate as, let's see how we solve a problem, and we said, this is the problem, let's see, is that actually the problem? Let's define it. Is it actually the problem? Now, what can we do about it to have a pro-survival solution? Wonderful.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Now got it. Okay, so you have this people that are currently parroting certain things, and you have groups and people that fight between each other. So you're saying that the world war is visible due to the fact that people are fighting between one another. Yes. Okay, so there's that, but there's not yet there's a lot of open war, but it's not a world war declared, many countries fighting, massive weapons.
So let me ask you, when Israel fight against, or when Hezbollah or Hamas fight against Israel, okay? Let's say Hamas started to fight against Israel. They started the war, yes? Who is fighting? Is it Hamas?
No, it's not. It's Hamas is a proxy. In that case, it was
proxy of Iran. And Iran, who is it? One day Iran decided, the people of Iran decided that they hate Jewish people? No, because the people of Iran is there. All the bridges, all the sewer system, all the power station has been built by Israel. Before this regime, there was the Shah regime, and Israel and Iran were brothers. And the best connection, all the roads, all the sewer system, all the bridges, really, the whole infrastructure has been built by Israelis for them. So how come all of a sudden? So actually what we have is not a war with Iran, but we have a war with the specific interest groups that want to push this hatred. So who is that interest group? They fight. And once you start to see, okay, fine, so why will they, 2,500 kilometers from Israel, fight Israel? One small country, Jewish country, one, where the Muslims have, I don't know, 30 or 40 countries, 30% of the water surface belong to them. So why will such a small country will be such a big problem for them? Why?
Yeah. Why exactly?
Because the war has started. And the
Okay.
war has started by that getting one group to hate another group for no good reason. There is no actual good reason. And if you really, 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 really go back, the Arabs and the Jewish people are brothers.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, brothers. So something do not make sense here. Someone is oiling this war. Someone making this war.
Yeah.
Why is it happening? How does it happen? Is because there's an external forces here that are in operation that the average person do not know about them, do not even think about them, that actually cause the people to fight. And do they use nuclear weapon or not? It's just got to do with the interest of this superpower that create the war, and that specific superpower cannot physically handle very well nuclear fallouts.
I see. Wow.
There's an actual decree in this universe that prohibit the development and the use of nuclear power on planet as small as ours.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's an actual laws about what you can and what you cannot do with nuclear power based on the size of the planet and the gravity of the planet, etc., etc.
Oh wow. I see. Okay. Fascinating. Yeah.
The war is there. It's not fought as First World War that you had two sides that were fighting, but there is two fights that are fighting. It's just not with bullets. And
Yeah.
what the bullets that you do see fighting is just insanities that went out of control.
Gotcha.
Yes,
So the World War really is a war between people
between
and
beings.
between beings. And
Actually, over the control of the spirit. Who will control the spirits on this planet? Will you be in control of you, or will someone else be? So there are two sides. The one says, you are a robot, you need to serve us, you are a unit, an infinite source of energy as the being, and we're going to use you as a source of energy. And another force that say, no, you are a free being and you have right for your own freedom. You have right for your own creation. You have right to create. The one say you don't have to create, another say you have the right to create. And that's the actual war. And all between the small war that you see is really noise, is really not the key. It's just getting you distracted off the main topic.
wow. Amazing. So then my final
You what actually happening. It is like if I argue with you and I am not in a good position, let's say I'm arguing with you about your chair, and I'm in not a good position. At one point, I will start to attack you personally.
yes.
If I start to attack you personally, is because I'm trying to hide that actually I don't know how to handle the problem with the chair.
Yes. Yeah, true for sure. That's why.
It's exactly the same thing. What they're doing, they get you to fight personally, so you will not understand what's the actual problem that's being created for you.
I see. Wow. Okay, I understand. So the question then well, I guess final question. Why then do people want to control the beings? I know you said because beings can be an infinite power source and they want to have this control over spiritual beings. But why? I mean, just build robots. There's some other intelligence that can run it, and that's it. Like, you don't need bodies and.
Yeah. So robots are very, very limited to in the ability to do what you want them to do. And robots need the source of energy.
Okay.
And the spirit is the source of energy, and is a source of energy that can make robots act intelligently.
I see.
So your body is a robot.
Yeah.
It acts intelligently because you are operating it.
I
You
see.
can see right from wrong because you are operating it.
I see.
Without you, this body will eat. You can keep a body alive, but without the being, he will not make any decision. Or survival decision. The only thing that they will do: eat, sleep, and reprocreate.
Gotcha. Now, but isn't there a way to do that with just? I know you said that a robot would be limited, but can't you do that with a metal and wired body that needs to just see you recharge it and it does all kinds of things and it's stronger than a body?
Yeah, it can be for very short and limited things, because robot cannot see differences. Robot can see identities. Similarities. Robot cannot see similarities. Robot can see identities and differences. And in order to actually be logical, you need to be able to see identities, differences, and similarities. There is no computer that can see similarities. They can just say many, 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 many things more are like that, and many, 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 many things are not that. So I assume that it's similar. So a computer will give you a stupid answer, where a person with the same amount of data will never give, or with less data will never give you a stupid answer.
I see.
Why? Because the being can see similarities. With much less data, the being can see similarities, and the being can bring something out of nothing, and robot can only change something.
Wow. Yeah, I see. I see. Okay, that's clear. Okay.
Yeah. It's a big
Amazing.
difference between and a robot. A robot can
Yeah.
deal only with changes, and a being can bring about something out of nothing. A being can have an idea. A robot cannot have an idea.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Wow. Okay, that's very, very clear.
Bring nothing.
Say again?
But something cannot bring nothing.
Yes.
But nothing can bring something. I can
Yeah.
take a building and break it 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 and break it. There's still this law of conservation of energy. It's the same building, just in a different form.
Yeah, it's not nothing. Right.
But a being can bring something out of nothing, because this universe started with nothing. And someone put the first two particles, and the next two particles, and the next two particles. That someone is the being.
Wow. Fascinating. Okay, that's incredible. Definitely covered this topic so well. Thank you. This was amazing. Thank you, everybody that was on here.
But there was few questions I see.
Yeah, it's fine. Well, I think we covered the main ones that we had time for. Tal said, "Love you,"
I love you
and
back.
yeah, lots of love and good to see you, Tal. And thank you, everybody. Thank you all that were on. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be back next week. Can't wait.
I love you, Danny.
Love you,
Mwah.
Abale. Thank you. Mwah. Thank you. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.